You know what? I'm really tired of playing this my tragedy is bigger than your tragedy game. My entire world got rocked, and it's like not even on your radar. We're in a relationship. What's important to me should be important to you.
How do you even compare our situations?
Hearing these words from Fiona was like a rusty knife slowly stabbing between my ribs. Painful, yet so fucking familiar, as if I was born to be treated this way. My life did begin here, but this is where my story truly started. I was born in Forest Lake, an affluent suburb north of Chicago. My father was a cardiothoracic surgeon, one of those glamorous, respected professions in the eyes of the world. Everyone thinks that I should inherit his mantle and become another him. But when I looked at those cold instruments, the pungent smell of formaldehyde makes every organ in my body cry out. That wasn't a life I wanted. That kind of rule-following, predictable existence was like a meticulously carved zombie, perfect yet utterly lifeless. So I did the thing they'd least understand. I dropped out of school without telling anyone. Gave myself the name Steve as like a brand I'd carved for escape. Stealing cars became a pathological form of liberation for me. It wasn't just about the money. It was a rebellion, a fight against everything in my past, against that unbearably boring, perfect life. I drove a stolen car and plunged into the South District in search of a life I'd never experienced before.
最近为了给大家更快呈现优质的视频，我换了台新设备来剪辑，而且没花什么钱，因为我发现转转最近配合国补发放了大额回收补贴，正好我的旧手机一直想卖又懒得处理，就干脆约了转转上门回收。没想到我那台小米14还卖了2600多，而且转转连平板笔记本这种数码产品都能回收。总之二手回收我推荐转转。
I don't know when it started, but the nightclub in the South District became my nightly destination. That night, the lights around the nightclub were blurred and the music was deafening, but my world suddenly quieted down because of the appearance of a girl. She was dancing, her body fuck, and there was this defiant fire in her eyes. From that moment on, I was done for, and I saw her bag get snatched. My body moved before my brain could even process it, although I didn't get the bag back in the end and almost fell flat on my face. This stupid impulse finally bought me a chance to get close to her. This deal was really fucking worthwhile.
All quiet up the wooden hill?
As quiet as it ever gets.
Straight answer, if I hadn't busted my skull for you tonight, would you have looked at me twice?
You're saying that I look twice.
Oh, you did then?
The word bidirectional rush later became a footnote to our relationship. On the first day with Fiona, I didn't hide my identity as a car thief. I had a hunch that Fiona would love the thrill of dating a criminal, and it turned out my gamble paid off. Being part of the Gallagher family's life has been a novel experience for me, like a strong dose of medicine, chaotic, crazy, and utterly unapologetic about all the nonsense happening. It's a world apart from my pretentious home. Gradually, I stopped. Being just an observer, I helped them solve one problem after another, and this feeling of being needed, damn it, I actually started to enjoy it. However, a sudden father-son conflict, it completely fucking overturned my understanding. I had never seen a father break his son's nose. Even if my father was cold, he would never act so brutally. That primitive violence shocked me and once again aroused the protective desire deep in my heart. But the result was being personally driven away by Fiona.
You're pathetic, Frank.
Get out now! I mean it!
Come on, don't go. Come on. Push. What, you want to say something? Pussy, it's Mr. Joe fucking God. Get them. Pussy.
Which made me both angry and aggrieved. I thought I was protecting her and her family, but she shut me out. I quietly trailed Frank as a wild plan began to take shape in my mind. So while Frank was drunk out of his mind at the bar, they stuffed him into the Arvoy and dumped him on a bench in Canada, convinced I was solving Fiona's problems this way.
What my dad is, what my family is, has fuck all to do with you. You left him there? You get him back.
That punch carried more weight than any words. I finally realized the Gallaghers were her castle, and no matter how despicable Frank was, he was still her family. I made amends in a timely manner after going to great lengths to get Frank back. I still couldn't find an opportunity to be alone with Fiona. It wasn't until Kevin's words enlightened me that Fiona carried too many burdens and could only truly relax when she laid down all her responsibilities.
When she says fuck you, it means I like you.
It's hood girl speak. Learn the language.
So I took action. I bribed her younger siblings to help create opportunities. Finally, my wish came true, and we spent a long, passionate day together in a hotel. Nothing is more thrilling than making love to your girlfriend one night and then helping her asshole dad stage a fake funeral to dodge creditors the next day. When this insane plan went off without a hitch, I realized I had finally figured out how to deal with Fiona family. But good times are always fucking short-lived. Just when I thought my life was getting on track, a phone call knocked me right back to square one. My dear father is sick and I have to go back. To make matters worse, my mother went crazy or something and sent me a bunch of vague text messages. Calling it flirtatious would be generous. It made Fiona and Debbie look at me funny. I don't know how to explain my family to them. Those complicated and twisted relationships. My family has always been the source of what I run away from. Not sweet memories to share. But who would have known that Debbie, that little rascal, actually made her way to my parents' house? I froze on the spot.
Love is fleeting, Jimmy. What are your intentions? You're distracting her and I need her in the game for at least a few more years. I can't have you breaking her heart or running off with her. So if you're not serious about sticking around, back off now.
To prove my sincerity to Debbie, I had to reveal that I had just bought a house near the Gallagher's place. I also gave her some benefits to keep it a secret, barely buying myself a little time to explain to Fiona. That house was originally supposed to be a surprise for Fiona, and I wanted to make her happy in my own way. But I forgot that the Gallaghers never lacked surprises. Monica's sudden return threw the Gallaghers into complete chaos. Yet my relationship with Fiona grew closer amid all that mess.
Show me the house.
Yeah.
During my time living in the South Side, I got into a lot of trouble. I wanted to take Fiona with me to Costa Rica, to start fresh in a new place and leave all that bullshit behind.
When are you gonna finally do something for yourself? Liam's 2. 16 more years till he's out of the house. You'll be what, 37? 38? And who says that Frank's done dumping babies in your lap to raise? You deserve a life of your own.
I'll meet you at O'Hare tomorrow afternoon in the American terminal. I love you.
Unfortunately, Fiona chose to stay in the South Side to keep looking after her younger siblings. I left with nothing but thoughts of her and a heavy heart. But life in Costa Rica wasn't any better. To save my own skin, I was forced to marry Estefia, the daughter of Brazilian drug lord Nando. Not long after, I scurried back to Chicago like a lapdog just for her goddamn green card. While rekindling my old romance with Fiona, I had to deal with a monitored married life and threats from my father-in-law. This complicated double life placed enormous stress on my relationship with Fiona and created a trust crisis. Although Fiona loved me, she couldn't tolerate the deception and danger.
Get out of my yard.
Why didn't you meet me at the airport?
I was on my way.
What happened?
Doesn't matter now.
I love you.
Don't.
I began to launch a fierce offensive on Fiona, finding all kinds of excuses to linger in the Gallagher family unexpectedly. This trick really worked. She gradually relented, and promised that as long as I dealt with my married status, we could talk again. It happened that Thanksgiving was just a few days away. The warmth of home emanating from the dining table made me never want to leave again. If anyone must have benefited from Monica's wrist-cutting incident, it must be me. My medical school foundation finally came in handy. I stabilized the situation at the first time and treated her wound well. It was this accident that made me win back Fiona's heart again. After living together for 4 months, our life gradually fell into a bottleneck. The passion faded and the trivialities of reality began to emerge. Fiona couldn't stand my using the toilet while she was taking a shower, and I was a bit annoyed that she treated me like a nanny. The only time I heard Fiona use the word we was after I spent money on braces for Carl. She didn't contribute a penny, yet she bluntly said, "We just spent 20 yuan on his braces." That unconscious giving on my part, coupled with her occasional sense of entitlement, made me feel a twinge of imbalance. When Fiona first asked me to borrow money, I already had not a penny in my pocket.
I don't have any.
What about your parents?
I haven't got anything from them since I was 18.
For 2 years you've been offering to give me money, and now when I ask you don't have any?
I'm sorry.
This is why I never ask anybody for help. I feel like a jackass now.
She didn't know that my gangster father-in-law had already come after me. Not long before, he had just dealt with her daughter's lover, then dragged me onto a cruise ship, forcing me to promise to stop engaging in illegal activities and honestly assist the Brazilian girl in getting a green card.
Can I trust you?
Absolutely.
But that means you can't get into any trouble. No stolen cars, no drugs.
How am I supposed to make a living?
Get a job.
The feeling of being controlled and threatened made me seem to return to the shadow of being dominated by my father in childhood. but I still took a desperate risk to steal a car in order to raise money for Fiona. As a result, I was caught red-handed by Berto, one of Nando's henchmen, who broke my little finger. The pain was not only physical, but also psychological. This fucking shit never stops. The BMW I stole earlier was just found and taken back by its original owner. Then, in the blink of an eye, some fucking kid who still has baby fluff instead of real hair robbed me of the $218 I busted my ass working 40 hours for. This series of brutal blows completely crushed me and forced me to make a decision to go back to Michigan medicine. When Fiona compromised and discussed moving the whole family to Michigan with me, I wanted so badly to come clean and tell her I just wanted to go alone. But fear always won. I was terrified of losing her, terrified that she'd leave me for good if she knew the truth. That fear made me choose to keep lying. To her and to myself, I kept telling myself everything would be fine. That as long as I handled the situation with a Brazilian girl, as long as I broke free from Nanda control, Edu finally have real freedom in the result. We both ended up feeling like victims, each convinced the other was the unreasonable asshole.
It didn't even occur to you to ask me.
No, you have known from day one what you were getting into with me.
Right, I got sucked into your world. I bent to your rules. I just assumed that we'd eventually decide how to move forward together like couples do, but there never was we. What have I been doing? Cooking, cleaning, laundry, living in a goddamn slum.
A slum? And go find another fucking place to sleep, a fucking studio!
But the collapse of reality always comes fucking unexpectedly because I failed to answer the Brazilian girl's call. Nando came after me again when he spent a fortune bailing his daughter out of immigration. I saw from his eyes that my death was near. Before boarding that ship heading nowhere, I begged Nando's henchman, Beto, to let me make one last call to Fiona. Arguments shouldn't be our final ending, even though our relationship was filled with lies and misunderstandings. Even though I kept fucking things up again and again, my love for her never changed. But that bastard Beto just threw my phone into the lake. Since then, Fiona could never get through to me, and my world came to a sudden halt, leaving nothing but overwhelming regret and unwillingness. After a year, I finally broke free from the cage. The first thing I did was to go see Fiona. When I appeared before her like a ghost, she was first astonished. And then the grievances and anger that had been penned up for a whole year burst out instantly. My excuses were so pale and feeble in her eyes. I was nothing but a bastard finding ridiculous excuses for my disappearance. Fiona is already married, and here I am, still making my last-ditch struggle. I tell her I'm not going anywhere. No more Dubai. I canceled the trip for her. I was ready to give up everything for her.
But I need something else now.
Gus?
I don't know. But I know it's not you. You have to let me go. You have to let me let you go. I need you to do that for me.
I looked at the woman I had loved with all my life. As I look at her, I see the resolve in her eyes and the exhaustion hidden deep within. Finally, I realized that true love isn't about possession or binding. It's about letting go this time. There's no plane ticket to Costa Rica, no yacht hijacked by gangsters, no cheap trick of faking my death. I just leave, vanishing completely from her life and the illusory world I built for myself. My story began with a cliché hero saving the damsel in distress, but ended with a bastard self-exile. I used to be Steve, and also Jimmy, maybe even Jack. But in the end, in Fiona's world, I was fucking nothing. I was just a name she had to forget. Perhaps this is the only final tenderness I can give her, and I will carry the pain of unrequited love to continue my wandering.